Good morning everyone. I'm Dubey. I teach English. In this class I am going to talk about my books. These are recently published books titled Objective English Easy to HOTS Part 1 and Part 2. If you are interested in English in any way, or you are willing to work on English, or you are going to sit for any examination, any examination, whether it is a school exam like school Olympiad or any competitive examination like SSC, CGL, CAT, MAT, or banking examinations, or CTET, or IELTS, any sort of competitive examination you are planning to sit for, or you are going to take that examination, you follow the methods, the shortcut techniques that I have written in my books, and you cannot imagine the kind of results you can achieve in a very short period of time. Instead of talking about this, it will be better for me to show the books and show you how you should work. These are those books. This is Objective English Easy to HOTS Part 1, and this is Objective English Easy to HOTS Part 2. The first part contains 11 chapters. The first chapter is dedicated to entire grammar. Second and third are also based on grammar itself. And from third to chapter 11 talk about all different kinds of topics, idioms and phrases, one-word substitution, sentence arrangement, feelers, close test, comprehensions, and rest of them. But the techniques, the methods I have used are unparalleled, and you must not have heard about the techniques. In this video lecture, I am going to talk about the first unit of the first chapter from this book. The first chapter of this book is dedicated to grammar, which covers 16 units, starting with the subject-verb agreement to clauses. And then at the end of the 16th unit, there is a technique called Napavapsi technique. That technique will teach you how to keep entire grammar in your mind and apply on any kind of questions. But before I take you to Napavapsi technique, which will give you method to master entire grammar, each unit is followed by complete comprehensive rules. And at the end of each unit, you will find a surefire shortcut trick. That surefire shortcut trick will help you keep the entire unit in your mind. And then that surefire shortcut trick is followed by 4 levels of practice sets. Easy, followed by moderate, then the third practice set is difficult, and the fourth practice set dedicated to each unit is HOTS, high order thinking skill questions. If you prepare like this, that you are taking your mind from easy question, then to moderate questions, then to difficult questions, then to high order thinking skill questions, you will be able to understand the range of difficulty, the starting and end of a difficulty level. So if you sit for any competitive examination, the questions asked in that exam will be only at easy to moderate level. It is never at difficulty or high order thinking skill level questions. So after working on these books, you will find that clearing any examination is just a child's play for you. I am showing you how you can get mastery over grammar in a matter of 10 to 15 days. And without grammar, you cannot frame sentences, you cannot edit it, you cannot understand the structure, you cannot write, you cannot speak well, you cannot, in other words, you can say you can never get, good confidence in English. So without a longer introduction, let me take you to chapter number 1, subject and verb agreement. This chapter I have included 21 rules. 21 rules. And these 21 rules have been researched and collected from moreover 100 books. If you read 100 books, only then you will be able to collect these 21 rules. And so far as a surefire shortcut trick is concerned, that nobody can provide you, only I know. I am showing you what is that. Look at the screen, please. So here I am taking you to the first rule. This is the first unit, and I am keeping my picture here. This is rule number 1, though the introduction has been written a little standard, but you read it and I explain it in easy language. Look, the first line says, you know that a sentence usually contains a subject and a finite verb. Number 2, let me take it ahead. Read it carefully. What a subject is. A subject is a noun or pronoun that tells us what the sentence talks about, and a verb represents the action in the sentence. The subject and verb agreement or concord in a sentence means that the subject and the verb must agree in person and number. This line must be memorized by you. I am going to explain in simpler language. In other words, the singular or plural, that is the number of the subject. You must be knowing singular number and plural number. And the first person, second person and third person pronouns determine the change in the finite verb. Let me simplify it. So, in subject and verb agreement, you have to take care of 2 elements in a sentence: subject and finite verb. What is a subject? A subject is a noun or a pronoun about which the sentence is talking about. What is a finite verb? A finite verb is a verb that changes according to the subject. What does it mean? A finite verb changes according to the subject. It means if the subject is singular, the verb has to become singular. If the subject is plural, the verb has to become plural. If the subject is in the first person, for example, I, the verb has to be in the first person. If the subject is in the second person, then the verb has to be in the second person. And if the subject is in the third person, then the verb has to be in the third person. This is the concept of subject and verb agreement. In a nutshell, you have to keep only one thing in your mind, and that one thing is what is the subject and where is it in the sentence. Now, keeping this concept in mind, you have to follow the 21 rules that I am going to discuss. 21 rules. So you have understood the concept of subject and verb agreement. Now there are 4 examples on the screen. You just keep your eyes only on verb and on subject, and I am showing you the magic, how it is possible to get mastery over entire grammar in a matter of 1 week or 10 days. A matter of 1 week or 10 days. And as I have told you, without getting a good control or command over grammar, you cannot do anything in English. So whether you like it or hate it, you have to improve your grammar. And there cannot be a better teacher than I am, and better book than the one that I am discussing at present. Now look at the given examples. Verbs are already given in bold. Look at the first example, second example, third and fourth. Keeping the concept in mind. Ravish is eagerly waiting for his exam results. Farmers are the so-called stewards of agriculture. I am waiting anxiously to hear from them. You have done your share of work. Students or teachers, if you are a teacher also, keep it in mind that in subject verb, this is the easiest chapter of grammar to study. The easiest. Why? Very minimum grammar is involved in subject and verb agreement. Only two elements, subject and verb. As you move ahead, you will find a number of complexities, a number of difficulties, a number of grammatical features. So as you move ahead, you will have to take care of a number of elements. So this is the best chapter to begin studying grammar. Now you see, is, are, am, waiting and have are of the same number and person as their subject is. For example, the verb is singular because its subject Ravish is singular. Keep it in mind. The verb are is plural because its subject farmers is plural. The verb am waiting is in the first person. I repeat, it's in the first person. Am is a first person verb because its subject is in the first person. And here in the last example, have is second person. Second person, singular, plural, that will be decided. Here use is in the singular because you can be used for singular, plural both. So here we have to keep it in mind that have is in the second person because of its subject. Now, I think this concept is clear. Moving ahead from rule number 2 to 21. From rule number 2 to 21 will take only 10 minutes for you to understand. But the most important part that I would like you to keep in mind is that in subject and verb agreement, you have to see how a subject is formed, how a subject is created. How is a subject created? The same subject is asked in class 6-7 questions also, and the same subject will come when you are reading a news editorial. So where does the difficulty lie? Difficulty lies in structuring the subject. How is a subject structured? So subject is structured in 3 ways. How the same subject becomes so easy and the same subject becomes so difficult. A subject is structured in 3 ways. It can be a single word subject, it can be a phrase, and it can be a clause also. So a subject is simply not a word, a noun or a pronoun. If you do the analysis, I'll show you the analysis. If you do the analysis of, say, newspaper editorial, you will find a subject of, say, 2-3 clauses. I will show you, but not at present. Not at present. First of all, make your basics strong. Make your basics strong. Because if I start showing you the analysis of that difficulty level questions, you will run away. So better to go step by step. I'll show that also. Now in rule number 2, I have used, and these 21 rules that I have included in this chapter are sufficient, are adequate, are more than enough for any competitive examinations, for any school level examination or grammar book that you study or that you have to study. So you do not have to go beyond this. If you are planning to go beyond this, if you are planning to go for research, consult me. Rule number 2. Let's look at rule number 2. In rule number 2, I have included such nouns that end with S or ES. Why did I include this? Mathematics, politics, economics, linguistics, physics, news. Why? There is always, whenever a researcher researches, whenever I was doing research in my book, this is actually a product of my 3-4 years work, So normally when you work on grammar, your noun says that in order to make a noun plural, you have to use SES normally. So a child's concept will be that wherever S or ES is attached with a noun, that noun is plural. No. These nouns, though they are ending with SES, are singular in number. There are some more. You can add that list to this list. Now, one example is enough. Mathematics frightens most children. So here frightens is singular because S has been added, because this noun mathematics is singular. Many students ask, sir, can mathematics be used as plural? Yes. Sir, can politics be used in the plural? Yes. Can economics be used in the plural? Yes. Where and when? See, these are exceptions. And if we go into details, it will take a lot of time. So I did not include those exceptions, but I just clear your concept. When their meanings are changed, when you talk about your problems of mathematics, so it becomes your ideas, your problems. It is not a subject, but here the rule says when they are used as subject. As a subject, they are singular. Or this is the name of a disease. Rickets is the name of a disease. Only it is ending with S. Now, hope you have understood. Look at rule number 3. Again, this rule is different from the previous rule. What is happening here? What is difference? In rule number 2, I have included a group of nouns that are ending with SES, but they are followed by a singular verb when they are used as a subject. But in rule number 3, I have included a group of nouns that are also ending with SES, but they are always plural. So as a student, you will have to keep your concept clear. Which nouns ending with SES are singular and which nouns ending with SES are plural. The list that I have included here in rule number 3 is more than enough for any examination. You can check any previous year questions and you will not find any word that is out of this group. If you find 1, 2, 3, 4 more, you make, you add that noun in this group. So when you are talking about trousers, so here R is plural. Why? Because trousers is a plural noun. Hope this rule number 3 is also clear. Look at rule number 4. In rule number 4, the nouns that are given, police, people, cattle, vermin, poultry, peasantry, these nouns are not ending with S or ES. They are without SES. But they are used in plural. They are used in plural. So there are some nouns which are used in plural even if they do not end with SES. Keep it in mind. What will happen if you add SES with these nouns? In some cases, the meaning will change, and in some cases, they will become wrong. For example, if you are using S with cattle and you say cattles, it will become a wrong noun. And when you are using peoples, you attach S. Then people as singular will mean men and women, and people with S will mean a country, a nation. So in some cases, the meaning of the noun will change, and in some cases, it will become wrong. So be very careful. Now moving on to next rule. I am taking this side and I am keeping myself here, this side, so that you can see the list of the words that are included in this group. Okay, so hope it's very much clear to you. Some nouns are used in the singular and plural in the same form. So again, you have to be very, very alert here. You have to be very, very alert. Some of these nouns are ending with SES, some of them are not ending with SES. Barracks can be singular, can be plural. Means can be used in the singular, can be used in the plural. Species word can be used in the singular and in the plural. Series word. So you'll have to keep these words in mind. Your concept should be clear. Now have a look. So if I say the barracks were surrounded by a high wall. So here barracks word have been used as a plural noun, as a plural subject, and therefore the verb is plural. In second example, let us see this example. A series of events is responsible for the incident. So here series is the subject and it is singular, and therefore this verb is singular. In rule number 6, that we are talking about, I have included collective nouns. So collective nouns can be followed either by a singular or by a plural verb. Some important collective nouns are. Now how to understand this concept? I have written it. And sadly there is a mistake here. It should be have. So the army has been withdrawn from some area. So here army has been used as singular. But the same army can be used in the plural as well. How and when? I am discussing just below that. See. So whenever confusion arises where to use a collective noun as a singular noun and when to use it as a plural noun, some shortcut methods are there. I have written here. A singular verb is used when a collective noun with a singular verb is used with a collective noun when we talk about it as a unit. This point is very, very important. When we talk about it as a unit, while a plural verb is used when we see the group as individuals. Maybe you might not have understood from the rule. This is where the role of a teacher comes. Suppose we are talking about class. So this class word can give two meanings. One as a unit, group, and another word for students. So when the meaning of the word class is a unit of students, then the verb will be singular. And when we are talking about students, when we are talking about students, but we are not using the word students, we are using the word class, then the verb will be plural. What I mean to say, let us take another example. The example I have already given. Let us use 1-2 more examples. So if I say the class wants to go out, or the class wants a games period. So here we are talking about class as a unit. But when we say the class are discussing their problems, the class are discussing their problems. So I am using the word class, but I am using it for students. So when I am talking about the constituents, when I am talking about the units that are making the group, then the verb will be plural. And if I am talking about it as a unit, then the verb will be singular. Let me give you one more example. Let us take another example. Let us take the word army. Let us take the word army. What is an army? An army is a collection of soldiers. Fine. An army is a collection of or a group of soldiers. So when I am talking about group, or I am talking about unit, I am talking about battalion, I am talking about one regiment. Here it is a unit, and therefore it will be followed by a singular verb. But if I am talking about soldiers, if I am talking about the people that are making army, then the verb will be plural. So I'll say that army are on alert. So I am using the word army, but I am meaning soldiers are on alert. Hope it must have helped you. Another indicator for singular plural is use a pronoun. Second, if you are using singular pronoun like it and its, it means you have treated that collective noun as a singular word, as a singular noun. And when you are using they, a plural pronoun, that means you are using it as a plural noun. For example, if I say the jury, this word, this question often, this question is often asked in examinations. The jury has given its verdict. So the jury has given its verdict. So we are talking about a panel of judges. We are talking about a panel of, we are talking about a panel. We are talking about a board of judges, a panel of judges. So we are talking about jury as a panel, a board, a group. But if we say the jury are divided in their opinions, so here we are talking about judges as individuals. Hope the concept must have been clear by now. Now moving on to next rule. Rule number 7, very confusing and very important for you. In rule number 7 I've written, check rule number 7. What does rule number 7 say? A very important and very confusing rule as well. The rule says some subjects are formed in the pattern of one of. Some subjects are formed in the pattern of one of. They are followed by a singular verb. This rule can be confusing. For example, let us say, here I am using an example. One of my friends has invented this gadget. I will explain only one example. Now you see, so whenever a student reads or tries to understand this rule, the student thinks that this word, my friends, is the actual subject. But the actual subject is, the real subject is the word one. This word one. Now I am giving you A very important concept here. A very important concept. Remember this concept, this discussion in mind. Whenever a group of words is working as a subject and it involves preposition, for example, you can see one of my friends. So here you can see one of my friends, either of you, neither of Mona's parents, each of us, a set of plates. So actually what is happening, you can see friends word is closer to the verb. Here you is closer to the verb. Here parents is closer to the verb. So what students think that these nouns are the subject and therefore the verb should be according to them. No, it's not like that. The noun coming before the preposition will be the subject of that verb. I will discuss this concept. Why not the noun coming after preposition? I'll discuss it in the functions of nouns. So let us keep it as it is for time being, because you may get confused. I will discuss this confusion in another chapter that is called functions of nouns. But for time being, I am explaining it. Try to understand. Any noun, any means any noun. Any noun coming after a preposition is called the object of that preposition. Pay attention to this word, object of that preposition. And the object of a preposition cannot work as a subject. Therefore, this my friends cannot function as subject. Never, ever. I'll discuss it in some more advanced subjects. Some more advanced subjects are coming. Very interesting. As you go ahead in this book, you will find subjects are becoming more and more complex. So this is how I have organized. But still, there is more to be added that cannot be added in this book, because again, if I would have added those things in this book, it could have become, books only meant for teachers and researchers, which I did not want. So concept is this one word, either, neither, each are always singular. Therefore the following verb will be singular. Always, even if there is a preposition. You don't have to see what is coming after preposition. Close your eyes. This word is one, verb is one. Either singular, neither singular, each singular. Hope very clear. Now moving on to rule number 8. Very common rule. When two nouns are connected with conjunctions like either or, neither nor, or nor, not only but also, what will be the verb? The verb will change according to the second part. That means the noun which is closer to the verb, closer to the word. For example, either or. Look at the example, it will become clear. Either Ramesh or his friends are to be blamed. So here are is plural. Why? Because this noun is plural. So we don't have to see what is coming in the first part, what is coming after either, or what is coming after neither, what is coming after not only. You have to see what is coming after the second part. So second part will be the subject. Hope very clear. Now moving on to rule number 9. This is again very clear rule, very important. When two nouns or pronouns are connected with, as well as, along with, in addition to, other than, besides, the verb agrees with the first subject. What does it mean? You are connecting two nouns with, as well as, along with, besides. So what noun you are keeping before, these words will matter, not the noun or pronoun that you are coming after these words. For example, let us talk about this one. First example. Vyom as well as his parents was with us. So usually what happens, you see as well as. Before as well as, you are getting the word Vyom. Vyom is singular. And after this, his parents is coming. His parents is plural. So confusion is bound to emerge in your mind. Confusion is likely, not likely, sure to, take place in your mind. Concept is, when two nouns are connected with these words, just see the noun, whether the noun coming before these words are singular or plural. For example, if I say, look at the same example. I say, Vyom as well as his parents was with us. Suppose I remove the word Vyom here. I remove the word Vyom from here. And I write Vyom's friends. Vyom's friends. So Vyom's friends is a plural noun. Vyom's friends is a plural noun, so the verb will change according to Vyom's friends. In place of Vyom, I write we as well as his parents, or I write they as well as his parents. Let his be anyone. Then the verb will change according to this noun. Clear? Next, moving on to rule number 10. Again, very fantastic rule. As I have told you, as you move ahead, if you get mastery over this chapter, you do not have to think till CAT examination. Till CAT, so far as grammar part is concerned. As I told you, I have included all different types of subjects taken from around 100 books of grammar. More than 100. Hundreds of websites, hundreds of grammar books, years of research, then this collection has been made. So the kind of work that I have done is in front of you. More interesting will be the assignments. You will see how I have raised the difficulty level of each and every assignment, showing that concept remains same, but the difficulty level goes on. So how should you apply these rules? How you should apply these rules, and at the end of this chapter you will find a surefire shortcut tricks that will summarize the entire rules. You do not have to remember this. But of course, practice is the only key to solution. Now you see rule number 10. When all of, some of, most of are followed by a plural noun or pronoun, the verb must be plural. Why? Why? See, I'll explain. This, first of all, so here all of my ideas. So here all of is followed by my ideas. My ideas is a plural noun. Therefore the verb is plural. Here this are is plural. Some of my friends. So here some of is being followed by a plural noun. Therefore the verb is support word is plural. Now a good student should ask a question. What if these words are followed by a singular noun? For example, here I have given a note. But when all of, some of, most of are followed by an uncountable noun, the verb is in the singular. The verb is in the singular. So here all of is followed by income word. Her income. And income word is uncountable noun. Income word is uncountable noun. It means this all is also singular, and therefore the verb is singular here. Some of Jharkhand's coal. So here some of is being followed by Jharkhand's coal. Coal is an uncountable noun. Therefore the verb is singular. This verb is singular. Hope. Now what is the concept behind it? Let me explain it further. You keep it in mind. The concept is all of, sum of, what is the group? All of, sum of, and let me see this once again. All of, sum of, most of. These determinants are used both before countable and uncountable nouns. So when you are using for countable nouns, they are becoming countable and plural, therefore the verb is plural. And if you are using for uncountable nouns, so the same determinants are becoming singular, or are becoming uncountable. So for example, I am giving you another example from my side. Say, all of this water. So this all of this water, the water is becoming uncountable, it is becoming water. All of this water. Water is uncountable, then the verb will be singular. And if I say, all of these students, all of these pens, all of these people. So here all is becoming people, all is becoming people. So we'll say all of these students. When we are talking about all students, we are talking about all students. So obviously all word is becoming plural, therefore the verb will be plural. It has to be kept in mind. Number 11. In number 11, a number of, a small number of, a big number of, a large number of, an enormous number of, any number of are followed by a plural verb. But interesting thing to be kept in mind, if you replace a with the, you are saying a number of, which is always plural, and the number of is always singular. Remember, a number of is always plural and the number of is always singular. Great. So here a number of problems have arisen, but if you are replacing a with the number of is followed by a, so the number of girls going to school has fallen. So here the number is a singular, the number is singular, and therefore the verb is also singular. Here has fallen. Similar interesting rule is there with many. Many, a great many, the many are followed by a plural noun. They are followed by a plural noun and a plural verb. But if you are using many a, do not get confused. Many can be followed by article a. So thing to be kept in mind, if many is followed by article a, that many becomes singular. And therefore it will be followed by a singular noun plus singular verb. For example, where is, so you see here, many mistakes have occurred in your essay. So here many mistakes, many is being followed by a plural noun, but here many a is singular, and therefore this noun is also singular and verb is also singular. Now look at rule number 13. A little, a bit of, a great deal of, a large amount of, a large quantity of are determinants. And these determinants always come only before uncountable nouns. And because they are coming before uncountable nouns, they will be followed only by a singular verb. They will be followed only by a singular verb. For example, let me take you to the rule. Where is that? Here. Example is here. And let me again make myself dance in the corner here. So a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So here a little is coming before knowledge. Knowledge is uncountable, therefore the verb is uncountable. Next, rule number 14. What does it say? Read it. Two phrases linked by and take a plural verb. Two phrases linked by and take a plural verb. Because and means plus. Ram and Shyam. Ram plus Shyam. Then we say this pen and that pen. So this pen plus that pen, 2. so they become plural. So example, Raju and Mohan are school days friends. So Raju plus Mohan. But when two nouns are connected with and but give single idea, then the verb is followed by, subject is followed by a singular verb. For example, bread and butter is a light breakfast. So here bread and butter is making one complete whole, and that is breakfast. So though they are connected with and, but they are not considered as separate. I repeat this. Again, concept should be kept clear. Suppose you are going to a shop. Let us take another example. Suppose you are going to a shop. Here bread and butter is a breakfast, is singular. But you are going to a shop and you are asking, Bhaiya, bread and butter, let us make it a question sentence. Is bread and butter are available at your shop? This will be a wrong sentence. Because in this example, you are using bread and butter as two separate words, so two separate nouns. So when you see that bread and butter is a light breakfast, fine. Here you have memorized the rule. Dubey sir has written that bread and butter is a singular subject, and you are using there also. Is bread and butter available at your shop? It will be a wrong sentence, because there you are using both the nouns separately. So there, whenever they are used as one singular, whenever they are considered separate, plural. So Bhaiya, are bread and butter available at your shop? Suppose you are going to your kitchen and bread is kept in one packet and butter is kept in another packet. What about in that case? So bread and butter are kept in separate packets. So keep the concept in mind. Now, hope I am giving you a number of examples to make it clear. Moving on to this one. A phrase of measurement takes a singular verb. Measurement means 10 miles, 5,000 rupees. So this is measurement. This is not a very difficult thing, so I am not spending a lot of time. Wherever it is required, I am giving sufficient explanation. Hope you are understanding what I have written in my book, and if you feel that yes, this is a wonderful book, and as I am claiming that you cannot find such a book more fun, I have written such techniques in this book that you cannot believe that you can guess the coming questions. If I say that you can guess coming questions after completing these two books, part 1 and part 2, you complete these books in 1 month and you will be able to guess most of the coming questions in any competitive examination. The books will cost you 1400 rupees, and if you face any problem, I will help you. Any problem, it will change your career. These books will change your career, and in a matter of 1 month. Now have a look. Rule number 16, interesting. The noun whereabouts is uncountable. It is ending with S. You can see here, whereabouts is ending with S. And it is uncountable. Whereabouts means address. Address means where somebody happens to be. So this noun is uncountable, but interestingly, it can be followed either by a singular or by a plural verb. So his whereabouts is still unknown, and their exact whereabouts are still a mystery. Rule number 17 is one of the most difficult rules for children to understand. I'll explain it as we go ahead, one by one. When an infinitive, gerund or clause is used as a subject, it is followed by a singular verb. What does this mean? What is an infinitive? What is a gerund? What is a clause? What is an infinitive? In simple language, when we use the word do before a basic form of the verb, it is called an infinitive. when we use ing at the end of a basic form of the verb and use it as a noun, it is called gerund. And a clause is a group of words which has a subject and a finite verb. Single subject, single finite verb. Perhaps this must not have been very clear to you. So when we discuss infinitive, I will explain it in detail. When I discuss gerund in this book, I will talk about that in detail, and when I talk about clause, then you will know about clause in details. For time being, we are studying subject and verb agreement, so we have to remain focused here. We have to remain focused. So the only thing you have to understand is, if an infinitive, gerund or a clause is used as a subject, it works as a singular subject and is therefore followed by a singular verb. For example, you look at the given examples. To keep everyone happy is next to impossible. Is it right or not? Yeah, that's true. I cannot keep everyone happy. So though I am explaining my book, rules of my book, but I cannot keep everyone happy. Some of the comments will come. You are the worst teacher. Dubey, you are the best teacher. Best, not worst. Best teacher. Okay. So, to keep everyone happy is infinitive. To keep everyone happy is infinitive. And it is working as a subject. So here it is working as a subject. Therefore, the verb is has been used. Smoking is injurious to health, yet people do. That's true. Smoking or smoking, you also know that it is injurious. And if you are a girl, no smoking. Okay, no smoking, no smoking. Smoking is injurious to health. So when infinitive is used as a subject, it is used when infinitive is used as a subject, it is singular and is followed by a singular verb. When gerund, what is gerund? Gerund is actually a verbal noun. Infinitive is also a verbal noun that I'll discuss in infinitive and gerund part. What is clause here? You can see here clause. What you just said. So what you just said. So you is a subject, said is a verb. So this highlighted part is a clause. This highlighted part is a clause. And this clause, when used as a subject, I repeat, when a clause is used as a subject, it is singular and is followed by a singular verb. Okay. Number 18. Ah, fair. Good. After there, not T-H-E-I-R. After there, the verb agrees with its complement. A new word, complement. What is a complement? Complement. See, verbs are of three types. Transitive verb, intransitive verb, and verbs of incomplete predication. So the light has gone. So let me open my window so that I can have sufficient light on my face. And whatever light was shining over here, the light gone, and one bulb is just twinkling, and I will be looking very pitch dark if I am not looking. If it is manageable, then fine, but it will be good for me. Forget. You want only content, no? I'm hero. So I am not. Let me put the window. Open the window. So window is opened. Some light, outside sound may come. You must be hearing the sound of scooter. So you will have to have patience. Sound of a scooter will come. Sound of barking dogs will also come. Sounds of, though there are not many people around me, so their sounds may not come, but expect some of the sounds, some natural sound. Natural teaching should not be boring. Natural sound, so you can expect. Okay, so here it is. So I was talking about complement. What is complement? as I was talking about the types of verb, I will discuss them later on. Verbs are of three types. You must have studied in school grammar books. Transitive, intransitive, and verbs of incomplete predication. Verbs of incomplete predication. What are the verbs of incomplete predication? For example, the verb be, seem, appear, look, become. These verbs cannot give complete meaning independently. If you are using I am, so here when you are saying I am, it cannot be a complete sentence because the word am is a form of be, which is a verb of incomplete predication. So you'll have to use a word to complete the meaning of the sentence, or to complete the meaning of that particular verb, am. So that word which you will be keeping after am will be called complement. So their word, when a sentence begins with their, it will be followed by a verb, and the next word coming after it will be called complement. For example, you look at the sentence. There is a big hole on your coat. So here a big hole on your coat is a complement. And because it is singular, you see now, a big hole. So here a big hole, singular. On your coat, singular. But in the second example, 25 participants in all. 25 participants in all. So 25 participants is plural. Therefore, this verb is plural. So deep knowledge of grammar. Fine. Rule number 19. What is rule number 19? When a phrase or an adjective, clause comes after a noun and modifies it, the verb agrees with the first subject. Very, very difficult rule of subject-verb agreement. Now, what is it? This rule, rule number 19, this rule number 19, you will find application of this rule in all news editorials. Means whatever long sentences are structured in newspapers, they are structured by using this rule only, the rule number 19. So if you get mastery of a rule number 19, you can understand newspaper editorials, sentences that are used in writing newspaper editorials, sentences that are framed in newspaper editorials by those great journalists or opinion makers. So what does it mean when a phrase or adjective clause comes after noun and modifies it? Modifies it means, let me explain it. Here you see in example number 1, a woman with 2 children was abducted. So here what is happening, this part, the part that I am underlining, is a phrasal verb. It's a prepositional phrase. I will discuss about this in post modifiers of this book. You must not have heard about post modifiers if you are preparing for a competitive examination, or you are a teacher, or you want to do something serious in English. Then you should know what a pre-modifier and what a post-modifier is. I'll discuss all these things I have written in this book. So a woman with 2 children was abducted. So here this highlighted part is an adjective. In simple language, you have to understand it is an adjective which is coming between the subject and the verb. So this a women is singular, and therefore this verb is also singular. This part that I am highlighting is an adjective phrase. It is describing this women. It is describing this women. It is giving some extra information about this women. It is giving some extra information. It is adding. It may not have. A woman was abducted. There was no need of with 2 children. So these with 2 children is just coming to confuse or add more information about the subject. Likewise, many trees along with the main road. Many trees along with so this highlighted part is an adjective. And remember, adjective will not affect subject and verb agreement. An adjective will not affect subject and verb agreement. Now you see here, what are these? These are called post modifiers also. I will discuss it in the unit. There is a separate unit in this book called post modifiers, which is not given in any grammar book. You cannot find. Only I have written in my book. Now, see here. Look at this example. The news that Prashant's wife beats him. So here, that Prashant's wife beats him is a clause. This clause is called adjective clause. Why is it called an adjective clause? Because it is describing this noun, the news. This noun, the news. This noun, the news. And because it is describing this noun news, therefore this is an adjective clause. Adjective clause. And as I have told you already, that an adjective phrase or an adjective clause or an adjective itself that is coming before a subject and a finite verb cannot affect their relation. Cannot affect their relation. Right. You can understand in this way that a husband and a wife love each other very much. Not we, obviously. So what happens? That 2-3 children, 2-3 come between them. But they do not affect the relation. Husband remains husband, wife remains wife. Likewise, the subject-verb agreement is. Children are coming between them. The children are not affecting their relation. I don't know how good this example is, but you can understand in that way. Now, rule number 20. I have told you there are 21 rules. A verb following a relative pronoun agrees with the person and number of the antecedent of that relative pronoun. What is antecedent? What is antecedent? A new word for you. Let me explain. Look at this example. Easy. Okay. So it is I who am to receive a standing ovation. Let us analyze. Let me show you some more. It is I who am to receive a standing ovation. Now what is happening here? This relative pronoun you see? This relative pronoun you see? Fine. This relative pronoun is being preceded by. Being preceded by means a pronoun is coming. And this pronoun is in the first person. So this who is also changing into the first person pronoun. And because who is changing into the first person pronoun, therefore this verb is in the first person. Perhaps you might not have understood it fully. Let us take another example. Now you see in sentence number 2, the same relative pronoun who has come. But this time, the word coming before who is a second person pronoun. A second person pronoun. So because a second person pronoun is coming before who, therefore this who has become a second person relative pronoun. And therefore this verb is also in the second person plural number. Now, let us suppose, okay, the word antecedent. The word antecedent. The pronoun, you see here, I is coming. This pronoun, you is coming before who. And here you see, they is coming before who. And here you see, friends, two friends is coming before who. And in next example, this, a king is coming before who. In simple language. A noun or pronoun that comes before a relative pronoun is called the antecedent of that relative pronoun. And as the rule tells you, as the rule says, a verb following a relative pronoun agrees with the person and number of the antecedent of that relative pronoun. That means the verb will be according to the antecedent. Antecedent means the noun or pronoun coming before the relative pronoun. Noun or pronoun coming before the relative pronoun. This is antecedent. So here verb will be occurring to I. In the next sentence the verb will be occurring to you. In the next sentence the verb will be occurring to they. In the next sentence the verb will be occurring to two friends. In the next sentence the verb will be occurring to a king. Right, so here you can see a king is in the singular and therefore this verb is also in the singular. Fantastic. Last rule. You must be feeling bored, but I don't think you should feel, because grammar rules are boring. After this I'll be talking about sure fact tricks. With one of those interesting subjects, grammar is lovely, and without grammar you cannot write sentences, you cannot speak well, you cannot read well, and you see how well I am speaking. I have written these books, but these books were lying somewhere, crushed, poor books. How I used to miss them. Okay, so with one of those, then ... who? We use a plural verb, but the only one of those ... who. Let me explain it with the help of I am not one of those who give up under pressure. Interesting thing. So here see, one of those. The simple thing that you need to keep in mind is, if only is used before one, then the verb will be singular. Only. This you have to see whether only has been used before one or not. If it has not been used, the verb is plural. And if only has been used, then the verb will be singular. For example, I am not one of those who give, plural, and it is the only one of Rakesh is the only one of those bankers. So here this is singular. Hope these 21 rules must have been clear to you. This is page number 2 of my book. Let me enlarge myself. Yeah, I am looking a little what should I say, handsome, smart, dashing, debonair. What, you can use as many good adjectives for me as you can. Of course you can use their antonyms also, up to your choice. I cannot stop your mouth, but why should you abuse me, bhai? What wrong have I done to you? No, please don't abuse. Have mercy. Making YouTube video. Okay, so you now, I have the 21 rules of subject verb agreement, how to keep them in mind. So generally what students do, they take a grammar book and memorize the grammar book, memorize the grammar rules, and as soon as question comes, then they start seeing the stars even during the day, because they have to memorize. They have not understood. Again, this video is going to be very long because I do not want to cut it in separate parts. How can you apply these rules that you study? How can you do that? Okay, to make you understand this, look at this surefire trick. And this surefire shortcut trick, my dear, will be this surefire shortcut trick. Surefire shortcut trick. This is Dubey's book. I don't know how I have written, but students will tell. I have told you that 1 month study, and you will be able to guess any coming questions. Whether it can be possible or not, I am showing you. You have studied, so far I have discussed 21 rules. So I am asking, you have studied that subject and verb agreement refers to the fact that the subject and the verb in a sentence must agree in person and in number. Fine. Now, what about problem? Problem is this. And the verb has to change. Verb has to change according to the subject. This is to be deeply rooted in your mind. This is to be ingrained in your mind. This is to be fixed in your mind. This is to be settled in your mind. This is to be rooted in your mind. What other? I can use a number. No, a number of. But so the verb changes according to the subject. So whenever you are going to work on subject-verb agreement, always find that the problem is there in the verb. Done deal. Done deal. The verb can be either right or wrong. Fine. So when you are reading a sentence, when you are doing work on subject and verb agreement, do not start analyzing prepositions. Do not start paying attention to conjunction, or do not start focusing on any other word. Focus, try to find out the verb. I'll show you. So what happens here? The error always lies in the verb. How can you detect it? To detect it fast, you need to clearly understand what the person and number of the given subject is. Remember the first rule. What is subject-verb agreement? So in order to find out the problem in verb, you have to spot, you have to detect, you have to find out where the subject is in the sentence. Then, and whether the verb and whether the finite verb is in agreement with it or not. And if not, then the problem is only in the verb. The problem is then the verb is wrong. The shortcut trick. Now this formula, when I was making this formula in my book, this simple formula had taken me 7 days. 7 days. You look at this formula very carefully. Very carefully. Look at it. Subject-verb agreement is equal to a subject's person and number. That means PN. Subject-verb agreement is equal to a subject's person and number. PN stands for person and number. Plus a verb's person and number. That means PN. In short, we can say a subject's PN is equal to a verb. A subject's PN plus a verb's PN is equal to subject-verb agreement. Remember, a subject's PN, person and number, plus a verb's person and number is equal to subject-verb agreement. Now, I have told you there are 4 different levels of practice sets. Practice set number 1 is there in front of you, and here you have to find error. What error lies in it? And now testing time, your memory time is coming. Remember the formula. A subject's PN is equal, a subject's PN plus a verb's PN is equal to subject-verb agreement. A subject's PN plus a verb's PN is equal to subject-verb agreement. So find out the verb. Here it is. If the concept is clear, see how these 10 questions will take 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll be solving 40 questions in 4-5 minutes. And if you practice 1 minute, 10 questions. This is verb. Verb is singular. This cattle word is a noun which is used without s. Without s, it is plural. Problem is in the verb. In place of has destroyed, it will be have destroyed. Now you remember this one. Question number 2. You just see how fast it can be done. Verb is were-lying. Verb is were-lying. Subject is a pair. Remember, one of, each of, either of. Verb is wrong. Verb is always. Just check the problem. Question number 3. Just go fast. It is you who is here. Remember, this is relative pronoun. This antecedent is the. This antecedent is the subject. Verb is wrong. In place of is, it should be are. Number 4. Many or singular. Verb have is wrong. It should be has. Look at most of. When most of is followed by plural, it should be plural. If it is here most of valuable, time is uncountable, verb go is wrong, it should be goes. Number 6. Go fast. 10 questions, 30 seconds. 10 questions, 30 seconds. it is you. Here antecedent is first person. Here has is wrong. Here has is wrong. Go to this rule. Go to this rule. Either singular, verb singular, no error. Here singular, singular, no error. Each of, each and every, singular, singular, verb singular. Let me see whether verb singular or plural. Verb plural, wrong. It should be are. Both the parties plural, verb should be plural. Here are, it's correct, no error. One of, it should be plural. One of, remember one of rule, remember one of. Singular, verb should be singular. In place of were, it should be was. These are the answers given here. So 10 questions, 1 minute. 10 questions, 1 minute. Now I am showing you next difficulty level. Next difficult. Suppose, as I have told you that there are 4 levels. This is set number 2. So in set number 2, what is happening? I have raised the standard of the questions. That means these questions are more difficult than the practice set that you saw. But if the concept that I have discussed is clear, it will again take 1 minute. See, neither of my parents likes, correct, nor do my sister, wrong. Here do my sister. My sister is subject, does. Number 2, oh, where is it gone? Call him. Okay. Then. Question number, not every one of us. No, here no is plural. Subject is not everyone. Here one of, it should be knows. Moving on to question number 3. Hardly a day go by. Here a day is a subject. Go is wrong. It should be goes. Next, trousers should be the trousers. The trousers. You have put on needs. Here needs is singular. Subject is trousers. Trousers is plural because we have discussed. What is those people doing there in our garden? Again, the subject is those people here. And therefore, it is plural. People, what is plural? We have discussed. Therefore, the verb is singular. Verb should be plural. Now, question number 6. Question number 6. 6. The front page news. News word is singular. Remember, some nouns ending with S is singular. News is one of them. Verb are is wrong. It should be is. Some 50 head of cattle. Here 50 head is plural. So verb should be plural. In place of was, it should be were. Now question number 8. Domestic poultry. Remember, poultry word is plural without s. Therefore verb will be are. Now quote summon. Summons word is a noun which ends with ses but is singular. Therefore the verb should be is. Now look at question number 10. Most of today's children. Again, most of is followed by a plural noun. Children word is a plural noun. Therefore this spends word is wrong. It should be spent. Now my dear, I have shown you how you can do 10 questions in 1 minute by understanding. Now what happens? I'll take 1 minute more and here we go. The types of questions that I have given. Set number 3. Difficult. So here I have raised the difficulty level of these questions. Let me keep it myself here and here. Error. The same concept, but the level of the question has changed. Look at how you solve this question. This is the difficulty level of these questions. Difficult. Concept remains same. Difficulty level of questions has been raised. Now look at question number 1 and 2 and then you can do rest of the questions. Individual members or even the secretary of the club do not have votes. Now you see, where is the verb? Do not have. What is the number of the verb? Plural. What is the subject? Here it is or is connecting. Or is connecting two nouns. Or. Remember, either or. Second part is the subject. So second part you are getting even the secretary, because this noun coming after of the club. Remember, I have told you that any noun coming after preposition cannot work as a subject. So our actual subject is the secretary. and the secretary is singular, therefore in place of do it should be does. Now question number 2. Initial improvements in appearance is promising, but data on long-term outcome are not yet available. Fantastic question. Now what is happening here? Initial improvements. Oh, light has come. Thank you very much, light, that you have made me fair and lovely with your presence. Thank you very much. Pranam. So light has come. So I should draw the curtain. Curtain, you draw. Not drawing. Come now. My students are getting disturbed. So what is happening here? Here you see initial improvements is plural and in appearance is adjective phrase. Remember, adjective phrase and clause can come between subject and verb, but they do not affect the number. So here this verb is coming for the subject initial improvements, which is plural, so the verb should be plural. So these remaining 8 questions you do, and answers, all answers are given just below the question, just below. And not only that, these are the answers and explanations. You don't have to do anything. Now I am taking to 1-2 questions of HOTS. HOTS. It is also hot here, and these are HOTS question, means high order thinking skill questions. So let us have a look at question number 1. In short, most of us was sad and we had lost perhaps 90% of our most vigorous and active young men. No error. So what is happening here? Again, let us find out the verb part. One verb is was. Another verb is had lost. 2 verbs are there in the sentence. What is the subject of this verb? What is the subject of was? The subject of was is this word, most of. And remember the concept, the rule that we have discussed. When some of, all of, most of are followed by countable nouns, then the verb must be plural. So here us is plural, therefore most of is becoming plural. So in place of was, it should be were. One more question and then I will leave. It argues that observation and experience is keys to constructing and judging scientific theories. Fantastic question. How many verbs are there? 1, argues. 2, is. 2 verbs. What is the subject of this verb? It. It is singular, therefore this verb is singular. What about this verb? What is the subject here? Observation and experience. So here observation and experience are connected with word and we know that when 2 nouns are connected with and, the verb is plural. When the 2 words are considered separately. Bread and butter, the example of bread and butter. Okay, bread and butter. So what is here? Observation and experience. This is what is making the standard of the question high order, because you may not think in that context. Now, are these nouns observation and experience singular or plural? Answer is plural. How? These keys to constructing. So keys is talking about observation is one key, experience is another key, and therefore all the questions that are given in HOTS category are such questions that will make your teeth teeter, that will make your eyes blink, that will make your eyes bulge, and that will make your head scratch. So if you feel that this book is really wonderful, fantastic, fabulous, out of the world, and you can use as many adjectives for my books as you like, a matter of 15 days, and they can change you, and you can clear any examination. Hope this presentation of mine must be fruitful, must be useful, must have been useful session, and wait for the next grammar. Very soon, within a week, you will find that you are becoming master of entire grammar in a matter of 10 days. So do I need to tell you? You should subscribe my channel. Should I? Okay, so see you, and please respond. Take 30 seconds. Respond. Thank you very much. So next chapter will be on tenses, and when I talk about tenses, after I give you discussion on tenses, you will forget any other book from this book. Objective English Easy to HOTS Part 1. Only chapter 1 can make you master. You will start earning money. I am going to do. I will show you how to guess coming questions of most of the competitive examination. I will give you the training to guess the questions. Trust me. If you have any doubt, wait and watch. So this has become a video of around 1.5 hours. Can you digest? See,